Hello everyone, this is Stephanie. Welcome to another video. So today we're going to work on this little cubic right angle weave bracelet. And this bracelet is made using these components, and then we've attached a band to either side. So we'll make these separately, attach the band. If you like this little bangle I made with the leftover beads, you can make that too. Alright, so I'm going to pull this off and just give you a quick look. So let me just get the bangle off. There we go. Alright, so here's the bangle. I haven't even finished embellishing that one yet. So this is what it looks like. It's very fun. A couple things. When I do the cubic right angle weave, I'm going to show you a different method of starting that first unit. And this was a method that was explained to me by a viewer, Margie. Hey Margie! Who was having difficulty getting her first unit done, so she figured out a really cool way to do it, and I want to share that with you. And it was kind enough of her to let me do that, so we will be doing that method. If you are a real beginner and have never ever done cubic right angle weave before, I'm going to post my playlist above and under the video, in the description box under the video, because I have there several videos of cubic right angle weave right from the very beginning using really big beads. We're going to be using smaller beads here, so even though I think the beginning, the method I'm going to show you would be really good for a beginner, I think that you really need to go back and learn all about cubic right angle weave and, do the various methods to see which one works best for you. As far as the bracelet, this bracelet, I wouldn't say it's a beginner bracelet, because you're using really tiny beads and you have to make it curve, and there's, so if you're a super beginner, go back to those videos and check out some of the early videos where we've done simpler projects, or anywhere that you have seen a cubic right angle weave project that's a real beginner project, and do that. I would never say don't try it, but I think you should have a little bit of knowledge of craw before you attempt this. It looks simple, but it really is not that simple. All right, so I'm going to clear the decks, and I'm going to get a materials list going, and we'll get started on this bracelet. See you in a few. Okay, let's get our materials list going. So you're going to need some 11/0 seed beads, and I'm using the Miyuki light metallic bronze. And this is, I know it's been around for a long time, but I love this bead. I haven't really used it before. This is the first time, so I really, really am enjoying this bead. And you're going to need some 13/0 Czech Charlotte beads. And for those of you who don't know what a Charlotte is, it's this little tiny seed bead, and it's a Czech bead, and each bead has one facet on it. It's hard to see with this color. It's easier to see with a metallic, but when you move it, the light hits it, and they're really pretty. And these are great to have in your stash for bezels, for making your beadwork curve, bringing in the beads and such when you need a really small bead. So I would encourage you to purchase some of these and just keep them in your stash. Keep them in metallics or whatever colors that you use predominantly when you make a bezel, or when you're doing some beadwork where you need a little tiny bead. They're very inexpensive and very easy to find. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put links in the description box under the video where I purchased all my beads, all my materials, right down to the needles. So don't forget to check that out down there. And so what you're going to do, for those of you who don't know, there's a down arrow under the video, or it says show more. So you're going to click that, and the box is going to open, and there I will give you all amounts that you need, the colors, where I purchased the beads, where I purchased the needles, everything, and any other info that that I might want to share. I also list a lot of beads websites that I use on a regular basis, so and if I have a discount code on something, I put it down there as well. All right, so we've got our 11/0, we've got our Charlotte, we've got a little clasp here. I have a magnetic clasp. I'm using 8-pound Fireline black satin. I have a size 11 beading needle and a 12. You might need the 12 to go through these tiny beads, so I always have that handy. For this method that we're going to use that Margie showed me, you need some sort of like a pointy object like this, like a bead awl or a bead reamer, something that you can use the tip of right here. So you might even be able to use the tip of around those pliers, maybe even a paper clip that you can, straighten out and use the tip of. But this works really well. Actually, I'll tell you where I purchased this. This is part of a set of bead reamers. I got this at Michael's or Joann Fabrics. I think it was Michael's. It was $5 and 40% with a 40% off coupon. It was just a few bucks. So these are always nice to have. I use them, for lots of things, not just clearing out the holes beads. All right, so that's where I get that. If you're doing a different type of start for craw, because there are so many starts for it, and you use a stop bead, have a stop bead. I said the 8-pound Fireline, the needles. All right, so gather up your materials and we'll get started with this bracelet. All right, see you in a few. Okay, let's get started. So we're going to start with the center unit, the larger unit. So thread your needle with about 5 feet, 5.5 feet. I'd go generous on this of thread, so you have enough thread to complete the unit, including the Charlottes. If you are doing a method of craw where you use a stop bead, go ahead and put that on. Leave a 12-inch tail, because we're going to use that tail to sew the units together. I'm not going to use a stop bead with Margie's method. All right, so, and I've also switched out my 11/0s for 8/0s, just for demonstration purposes, just to show you how to do it this way. And once we get our units, our components done, I'm going to switch back to the 11/0s and complete the bracelet in 11/0s. I just want to get you started with this. All right, so I have 4 beads on. I'm going to drop them down. And just make sure you leave your tail, your 12-inch tail. I'm not going to, just for video purposes, I want to stay in frame. So then I'm just going to make these into a circle by sewing up the first 2 beads that I put on. So here, now I have a circle. Come around, just sew through until you get to where your tail thread is coming out, right there. And then I want you to tie a knot right here. Let me straighten this out. So see how I have my tail thread coming out of one bead and my working thread coming out of the other? So just tie an overhand knot here, just like that. Okay. Now with the 8/0s, I'm going to tie 2, but you only need 1 knot with the 11/0s. And don't worry about the knots. If you're thinking they're going to plug up the beads, the knot doesn't. So don't worry. All right, and now I just want you to sew through a couple of beads until you have, here we'll go through another one, until you have this. So we have a right angle weave unit with our working thread coming out of the top of this side bead. So here, let me pull in a little bit more. Here's your top bead, side bead, bottom bead, and other side. You want to be coming out of the top of this bead right here. Okay, and then you want to take your awl or your bead reamer and just put it on the end. Just put your little unit right there and hold it with your finger. And this is the whole thing. We're going to put it on the end of something narrow like this and pointy, and it's going to hold the unit there, so we can just add the craw units. All right, so you're coming out of here, pick up 3 beads, come through the other side of the bead you're coming out of, have your first side on, and all you want to do is just rotate your hand a bit and advance your needle through the next bead. And when I pull, this is what I have. Pick up 2, come through this bottom bead and the side bead, just like regular craw. Put on the next unit, like that. Rotate your hand and your little piece there. Advance through the next bead. Just like that. Pick up 2, come through the bottom bead and the side bead. Put on your next unit. Rotate. Advance your needle through the next bead. Now you have these 3 beads on, so you want to add your last bead through the top bead, one bead, go through the bottom bead, through the side bead, added your last unit on, sew through the top bead, and your unit is done. All you have to do at this point is sew those 4 beads together that are not sewn together at the end, right here. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So I'm just going to come around. So here's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Come through following bead, just like that. And now we have that unit sewn on, and the whole unit is done. So here, I'll take it off and show you. See, so you've got your first craw unit. So for those of you who have trouble getting that first unit done, like you keep trying and you can't get it done, this is a great way to do it. So you're just actually holding it on an object like this, and then if you want, you can still hold it on there and continue on. So here I'm picking up 3, rotating my piece, and advancing my needle. Pick up 2, so put those on, rotate your piece, advance your needle. Pick up 2, put those on, rotate your piece, advance your needle, to the top seed bead, pick up 1, come around, just like that, come through the top bead, and then all you want to do is rotate, advance, and just sew those 4 beads together. 1, 2. Here we go. If I take it off, I have 2 units on now. So that's a very cool way of doing it. So I love it. The 2 bracelets I've worked on, I have used this method each time. It's just easy. All right, so what I want you to do at this point is I want you to make 21 craw units. So the way you're counting is here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You're going to go down until you have 21 units, and that's going to make the center piece. And then I want you to start another piece and make that, let me just check my notes, I think that's 13. Okay, that's 13 units. So 2 pieces that are 13 units long and 1 piece that's 21 units long, and then meet me back here and we'll turn them into circles. All right, see you in a few. We're back, and I've got my 3 pieces made, and I'm going to, actually I made a 4th piece. I just made this piece just to show you how to connect the ends, because I think I've done it half a dozen times, and I just, you know, when I reviewed the clips, you just couldn't see with the shine. But after we get them connected, there's no problem using these for the rest of the video. All right, so I'm just going to put this aside, and I'm going to show you how to make this circle using this piece. So you just want to, make sure you're coming out of an end bead. So here's my unit. I'm going to try to pull on super duper tight here. So here's this unit. I'm coming out of here. Okay. Just going to bring my piece around. I'm going to make sure it's not twisted. Just be very careful. You don't want to twist it. Once you have it in place, just hold it between your 2 fingers like that. It'll be easier for you because you're not filming. So you're coming out of this bead. Just come through this one. Just coming through the bead on the other side. Pick up another bead, come back through that first bead, just like that, and you've got that first face on. So I'm just going to turn it around, try to hold it like this, and just advance my needle through that next bead. Okay, just like that. See, now I have these 3 beads that I have to connect, 1, 2, and 3, so I just need 1 bead. Pick up 1, through this one. I'm going to come back through this one. So I'm going around my unit now, through this one. Then I'm going to hold it so the inside is facing me. Then I have 3 beads here I have to connect, and I have to hold it so that you can see it. So I'm going to kind of be working and only looking through my camera screen. So here I'm just going to advance my needle through this bead, and then I have, just get in position here, these 3, 1, 2, and 3, pick up a bead, come through. Can you see that? Yes, this one. Sorry, you guys. Okay, there you go. Come through that one. Now you have those 4 beads on, but then you just want to come around through the bottom seed bead and the side bead, like that. I'm just going to rotate my piece around, and then all I have left to sew together are these 4 beads. 1, 2, 3, and 4. They're there, but they're not attached. So come through this one, through this one, through this one, through the bottom one and the side one, and now you've connected your 2 ends, and all your beads are nice and connected. All right, so I'm going to stop right here and let you get to this point, and then meet me back here, and we'll start putting on the Charlottes. All right, see you in a few. Okay, we're back, and I'm back using the bronze piece. So coming into the very same place I was coming out with we connected the unit together. So here's the right angle weave unit. We're coming out of here. Just want you to just come through this one, just like that. So we're coming out of this bead right here, and now I want you to pick up your Charlottes and put 1 Charlotte on between each of your 11-ohs in this round right here. So that's 1, 2, there. Now the goal here for this round is to get all the Charlottes on and to make sure that this round of beads here, you see this interior round of 11-ohs, stays in the center. So if you notice on this, see how that we've embellished 3 sides of this cubic right angle weave, but we did not do 1 side, and that's what's giving us this nice center here. So in order to do that, we just have to make sure that this round of 11-ohs on these interior 11-ohs stay there. And what's going to happen as you put the Charlottes on, they're going to want to push into the center. They're going to move. They're going to start curving. So every time they do that, curving is fine, but you just want to keep your thumb on it and make sure that you push them back up if they start really falling over. When we get our other rounds on, they'll straighten out, but this is important, and this I think is the reason that I said this is, might not be a beginner. It's not really for beginners, because besides using these little tiny beads, and it's, difficult to work with these little tiny beads, you also have to make sure of your tension, and you have to make sure that they're not pulling in too much. So do you see how they're pulling in, but not so much that they're tilting over? You want to keep this round of beads, these interior beads looking exactly like that. It's not really hard. It's just, you just need a little bit of craw experience. So see, as I pull, I'm holding it with my thumb so it's not pulling in too deep, because you want it to bump up in the front here so we have that dimension. But you don't want them to go in so far that they'll end up going on the inside, and you don't want that to happen. So just keep going around like that. This is just how it should look. As I said, if they start to tilt in too much, then you want to just hold your thumb there when you pull so they're not going to fall in. All right, so I'm just going to let you continue down to the end, and then meet me back here, and we'll start the next round. All right, see you in a few. Okay, I'm coming down to the end. So a couple more beads to put on, and I'm just holding it. I'm pulling, but I'm holding it and making sure that the beads stay exactly where I want them, which is right there. This section popping out like that. So here's my last bead. I'm going to come through the 11-0 Charlotte and another 11-0. Going to give it a little pull, but see, they're starting to go in, so I'm going to push them out a little bit, right? And now you're coming out of this 11-0. I just want you to work your way around to the other side. So come through this one. I'm just using the right angle weave unit. Through this one. I'm just going to turn it. Okay, see where I'm coming out? Through this one. Then I want you to come through this one. So now you're on the other side. And we're going to add beads, the Charlottes, to this side. And then at the end, we're going to add Charlottes to the top. All right, so pick up your Charlotte. Come on through. And you're going to pull these. Just going to look here. You see that's staying really nice. And these you can actually give a little tug to, because once you get this side on, everything's in place. And then we're going to just do this top row last. Let me grab a few more Charlottes. So it's just putting that first round of Charlottes on. You have to be really careful that they're not going to fall in the center. And this one, like I said, you can give a nice tug. All right, so keep going around until you get to the end, and then meet me back here and we'll do the third round. All right, see you in a few. Okay, I'm coming down to the end. And this one you can pull. I mean, you don't want to rack it out, but you can pull a little tighter. So I'm coming through the 11-0, the Charlotte, and another 11-0. Give me a little pull. And then I'm just going to work my way up. So here I'm coming out of 11-0. Come through this one. So I'm coming out of this one. I'm just going to come through this one. And then this one. And now I can put my beads, all my Charlottes are on the top. So I'm just going to go through each 11-0 and put a Charlotte in the center there. And I'm running out of thread. Right, because I started with a little bit smaller thread, a shorter thread, and now I'm a little stuck. But you see how that's going to give it the dimension? So go all the way around. I'll probably have to add a thread here. You can pull at this point. So you're going to go all the way around and get that third round done, and then meet me back here. And actually at that point you can actually, once you get this round done, just sew your thread in by just going around a right angle weave unit and tying some half hitch knots. And then what you're going to do is you're going to do the same thing with your two smaller pieces. So you'll have 3 pieces just like that. All right? So get that done. Take your time. Once you get that first round of Charlottes done, it just kind of really looks pretty, and it curves and it's really nice. So get that done and then meet me back here and we'll connect the pieces and get the bracelet done. All right, see you. Okay, we're back and I have all my pieces done and I'm going to sew them together. And I know they turned silver, but I didn't have my other 2 sewn together, the smaller pieces. So I had these and I wanted to make a silver one anyway, so I had them and I thought we'd finish with the silver. All right, so you want to find the center here. So if I have 22 beads on here, because remember we put 21 on, and then the 22nd unit is made when we attach the 2 ends together. So I have 22 around of the 11-0s, so I'm just going to make sure that I'm in the center on either side here, so I'll have 10 here and 10 here, and I'll be coming through bead 11 here on either side. Right? It doesn't matter on the little one yet where it's coming out, so you know, on the circle. You just want to make sure you're coming out through an 11-0 in this of the center line here. Okay, so I'm coming out of 11-0. I'm going to attach to this 11-0 right here. Go a little bit further. I'm just going to do it with one right angle weave unit. It's a very light bracelet. You don't need to go crazy here. So pick up a bead, come through this one, pick up another 11-0. Going to come back through that same 11-0 on the smaller one. Whoops. Here we go. So here, let me just put it on and I'll lay it down and show you. So here, that's how I'm connecting. See, I have an 11-0 here coming through the one that I was coming out of. I'm going to just pull tight, and now I have my connection. And all you want to do here is just reinforce all your beads. And do this 2 or 3 times till it feels nice and secure. And I mean, you can put a little Charlotte in between each one if you want. I mean, I don't think it's necessary. It's just, I think there's too much, you know, you have plenty going on. So here, just like that. So do that, and then you're going to do the same thing on this side. Connect it to that center bead, and then meet me back here and we'll get started on the bracelet. All right, see you in a few. Okay, we're back and we're ready to put the bracelet on. So we are going to do cubic right angle weave for the bracelet. So I want you to place your thread and your, you know, in a certain through a certain bead. So at this point, you're gonna you might have some thread left over, but it's not going to be enough to do the whole bracelet. So this is almost like another circle. So you're going to need at least 5 feet again here, probably 6 feet, because you want to have enough to sew this in. So just, I would add thread. I'm just going to use the piece I have to get you started. So we need to find center here. So we're connected here. We have 14 beads around. Remember, we put on 13 units, but then when we made our circle, when we connected the circle, we added beads. So that gives us 14 beads around, which is easy to find center. So I'm let's say if I start here, this is where I did my connection. So don't count this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm coming out of bead number 7, so I'll have 6 beads here. These are the 2 connecting beads. I'll have 6 beads here, and everything is even. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to build a right angle weave unit off of the edge here. So off of these 4 beads. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Right, so I'm coming out of the top of this seed bead. That's the center seed bead. Now, just a note, if you're not coming out of the right bead, these little right angle weave units are just perfect for just moving your thread around until you are in the right spot. So if your thread is going this way and you want it to go this way, just move around the unit until it's facing in the right direction. All right, so I'm coming out of the here. I'm going to pick up 3 beads, 3 11-0s. Just going to come back around that same bead I was coming out of to put on the first face of my unit. I'm going to rotate my piece, and I'm going to come through that next bead. So wait, let me see if I can. Okay, so here I am. Coming out of here, I'm just going to come through this one. So we're just attaching to this right angle weave unit here. I'm just going to disregard the Charlotte. Just like that. Then I'm going to rotate, pick up 2, going to come through this one and this one, and you'll see it more as you go. You're just working off that one unit. Going to rotate, going to come through the next 11-0. Now I have these 2 beads that I have to connect to. Pick up 2. Through this one and this one, just like that. Rotate, advance your needle through the next silver bead. Just don't worry about the Charlottes, ignore them. and then through this top bead, now I have my 3 beads on, 1, 2, 3, pick up 1, come through the bottom bead, come through the side bead, see how that puts that on, come through the top bead, like that. At this point you can rotate, come through this one, and then here are your 4 beads. I know it's hard to see them. 1, 2, 3, 4, sew them together. Two, 3, and 4, and now you have your first unit on. So now all we're going to do at this point is add cubic right angle weave units until we get the length of one side of your bracelet. So pick up 3, coming out of here, do that one, rotate, advance through the next bead. Pick up 2, come through the bottom seed bead, the side seed bead, rotate and advance. Pick up 2, come through this bottom seed bead, the side, rotate, advance, come through the top, go. Pick up a seed bead, come through the bottom of the side, through the top, rotate, advance, sew those beads together, like that. That's what you're going to do all the way down until you get to the length that you want. My bracelet is, with the clasp, is 7 inches, and it fits, you know, relatively close to my wrist. So each one of I have about 2 inches of cubic right angle weave before my clasp. All right, so get that done, get this side done, go back and get the other side done, and then meet me back here. And what we're going to do is you're just going to embellish the top 2 rows here. So the top 2 lines here of seed beads, we're going to put Charlottes on. You can do all 4. It won't curve as long as it's flat. You know, as long as you're not going to sew it together, it's not going to, you know, turn into this type of unit. It will just stay just like this. So you can do all 4 sides. I just did 2. All right, so at least get your units on, and then meet me back here, and if you want, you can go ahead and put your Charlottes on, but I'll come back and show you how to get them on, and then we'll add the clasp and we'll be done. All right, see you in a few. Okay, we're back, and I'm going to show you how to put the clasp on. I've done this side already, but and I started this side, but I'm running out of thread, so I thought I'd just do a temporary clasp here. And I want to use these red beads so you can see better what I'm doing. So I'm coming out of an end bead here. I'm going to pick up an 11-0, my clasp. We're just sticking to my needle, so pick it up. An 11-0. It's coming out of here. I'm just going to come around, attach that on, like that. Rotate, come through the next bead. Okay, I want you to rotate one more time, so you're not going to put any beads there, and come through the next bead. Pick up an 11-0, come through the clasp, pick up another 11-0, come through that seed bead, just like that. Okay, and then we're going to come around and reinforce that unit, just like that. Okay, I'm going to rotate, come through the next bead, rotate, come through the next bead, and I'm going to reinforce where I attached this unit. So through the red one, through the clasp, through the red one, and that bead. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to do this one more time. I'm going to come through the red one, going to come through the clasp, going to come through the red one. So I'm positioning my needle to put on the Charlottes. So this is what it looks like. That's how it's connected. Pick up a Charlotte, come through the next bead. Pick up a Charlotte, come through next one, pick up a Charlotte, come through the next one, and all the way down. What you're going to do is you're going to put a Charlotte through in between each 11-0. When you get to the end, you're just going to sew through this right angle weave unit at the end till you come out the other side. Add all your Charlottes on this side, sew in your threads, put in a couple of half hitch knots. If you want to continue around and embellish all 4 sides, you can certainly do that as well. Alright, so get that done, meet me back here, and we'll look at our bracelets. Alright, see you in a few. Okay, we're back, and here are our bracelets. So I think they came out great. Of course, I have to finish this one. If you want to do the little bangle, just make a big circle and just embellish as many sides as you want. Alright, so I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed Margie's method of starting your your first craw unit, and I will see you on the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.